Hey guys, Foxy here, and this would be part 4 to What If Naruto Was the Last Man on Earth. I'm sorry it took so long to actually bring this video out. I kind of forgot about it. I have a major issue about forgetting things. Yeah, I'm sorry. But either way, I'm getting this video out, and things might be different in here, okay? I've looked back on the last video I made, and I got I got the ending part, so I get it, but I still am a little hazy on the entire what if. So if you notice things being different about it, that's because I kind of changed a few things. So with that, let's get this video started. Naruto's POV. I woke up with a start. Then my head pounded as if a boulder decided to jump up and down on it all night long. I groaned in pain and I kept twisting back and forth. Then what happened yesterday came flooding back to me with another pounding of the headache. I sat up and saw, my captors awake and staring at me. Something glinted in their eyes, and I couldn't discern it. I backed up, but as soon as I took a step backwards, I bumped into somebody. I swiftly turned around and came face to face with a woman, I believe my tribe called it, a woman with silver hair that defied gravity somehow, beautiful pale skin, and a mask covering 90% of her face. Well, yeah, I think. Just one eye I can see. I chuckled as I backed up. Still, how do you put it? Scared out of my mind. But yeah, again, it happened. As I backed up, I bumped into somebody. There's too many, women here for my liking. Too many bad people. In a desperate attempt to escape, which wasn't smart for me, I ran uphill. As soon as I took 5 steps, I was dragged backwards, a hand under my arms, pulling me upwards and back. I screamed and shouted for them to let me go, but they didn't listen. The only thing they did was hug me and walk downhill. I was mad. I was mad at myself for disobeying my leader, my dad. I should have been smarter. I should have heeded their warnings. Maybe this wouldn't happen. But no time for me to regret now. As we stepped on the flatlands, I was scared and excited. I'd never been in the flatlands before. I always been uphill or in the mountains. Never in my life have I ever touched grass. That's what Dad called it, grass. The grass was soft, or it looked soft. I couldn't put my feet down. And everything looked different. I mean, majorly different from the mountains. In the mountains, there were barely any grass, except a few trees and patches of it around, but nothing else. Only rock and a lot of pain. ever stubbed a toe into a boulder, then have the boulder roll on your foot, you will know what I feel. It's painful. But here, everything looks so green and flat. I wanted to feel, you know, something for this land, but I couldn't. This land isn't my home, isn't the place I explored and had fun in. In the mountains, I used to jump from boulder to boulder, hide in the caves, play tag with the elders. I had no one here, and I couldn't see anyone else. I was scared beyond my wildest belief. No one talked to me. They just kept walking with a happy expression on their faces. I can see two of the women or girls, the elders called them, biting their inner cheeks, trying to not talk or laugh at me. I have no clue. I started to lose feeling in my legs after a while. I wanted to be let down, but I think they know that I would try to take a running start if they ever put me on the ground. It was smart of them to keep me off ground, but God, I hated it. I hated that these women were so cunning and manipulative, or how did they say it back then? Manipulative. I give up. Either way, after a while, we came in front of this large structure. My dad called it a gate or a wall. It was massive. Not as big as the mountain, but it was massive. They talked to two of the women guarding the gate. They looked at me with excitement filling their eyes. I shivered in inter how come I can't say these words, Dad? Curse you! I grumbled to myself. Either way, I was waiting for the cage that will hold me. Or something bad. I was just waiting for it, waiting for something. Or for I don't know what I was waiting for. I was just scared out of my mind. But to my, well, confusion, I was brought somewhere else. In the meantime of being brought to the building, I saw many women. Girls, older women, younger women. Women with different colors of skin, hair, and eyes. Different types of height and structures. I saw some women jumping from building to building, and just saw, well, a lot. There were so many women here. I was, well, how do you put it? Curious and, well, I'm not even going to explain it. I was just amazed at how many women were in one spot. And they kept following us like bees to honey. That's what Dad said, right? Bees to honey, or there was a different saying, but I can't remember it. Either way, I was brought to this large building that people came in and out of. Not a lot, but they did come out and in enough for me to notice. Then I was brought in front of somebody. A girl with sandy blonde hair, I believe Dad called it. Normal skin color, and, well, I don't know what Dad called it, but they called them balloons. Well, either way, she had big balloons on her chest. A part of me wanted to reach out and grope them, just to feel if they're real or not. But since my hands and the rest of my body has gone numb, I couldn't really do anything. The woman started to shout at the girl who was holding me. Kakashi, you shouldn't be holding him like that. Got it. He must be going numb. Well, she got one thing straight. I am going numb. And suddenly, she grabbed me and held me as if I was a baby. Immediately, I started to struggle, rolling and, well, trying to gain back my body. She let me do that since I wasn't doing much. But when I finally felt my body gain under control, I felt her grip gain tighter on me, and myself being pushed, well, how do I put this? Pushed towards her balloons, and her grip was very strong. Let's get you a checkup, okay? She said, softer, which surprised me. She was talking, or more like yelling, at the other girl. Shouldn't she be yelling at me? Hitting me? What about those stories that Dad and Grandpa told me about? Why aren't these women like the stories? Why are they treating me so kindly? They must be trying to manipulate me, trying to make my guards fall, so then they can have an easy kill or something. I clamped my legs shut and shook my head. She didn't listen. She brought me to this overly white room. Now, since I can feel my body, I continued to push against her, trying to get away, but nothing happened. I only wasted my energy. A smart move I made was, well, I gave up. I just laid there, just taking in deep breaths and relaxing. I couldn't defeat her. I couldn't even, well, how do I put this? I can't even get out of her hold. How the heck am I going to get out of here? I'm in a city full of women. I am going to be killed. Even before I take a step out of, I'm probably going to be killed, disemboweled, and thrown into a pig pen. I felt sorry for myself at that moment. I felt pathetic. Like a fly, or an earthworm, or something. I felt absolutely weak. I hated that feeling. I always felt it when it came to my dad and the elders. I always felt weak. I was unable to do a lot. I had no rule over my life or no control. I was always pushed to do what they want, what they need, and blah, blah, blah. I hated that. I hated that I can't make my own decisions. But I think I prefer my dad's nagging over being thrown into this situation. I was cut out of my thoughts as I felt myself being thrown in the air and landing on something soft but firm. I couldn't even get my common sense when I felt something soft being wrapped around my hands and legs, and them being stretched. I was scared that my limbs were going to be ripped off. I screamed as I pulled my body towards itself. That didn't work. I was just stuck like this. I whimpered and I started to cry. I know I shouldn't be crying, but God, I'm scared, exhausted, and the headache won't stop. I can even feel the dry bits of blood still on my face. After a little while, I felt a hand, a slender, soft hand rubbing my tears away, and something wet but soft rubbing my face. I can, well, I knew the first thing was a hand, but the second thing, I think Dad called it a rag, but we didn't have much of those on the mountain. Only the straps of clothes that we have, and some of the mountain sheep, but we didn't kill them. We used their fur sometimes as blankets, but never made clothes out of them. Either way, I was confused. Not because of the feeling I was having, but why they were cleaning me. Were they preparing me for a ritual? Were they trying to keep me clean so they can disembowel me later to shove me into a jar? What were they planning to do? Then I felt something cold being pressed against my chest. I shivered as I opened my eyes and looked down. Something metal but flat was on my chest. Then something rubbery was attached to the metal thing, leading upwards into two different parts. Those two different parts went into the ears of the woman. She was looking at me while moving the cold metal object over my chest. Soon she stopped over my heart. I could feel my heart stop, or at least splutter. I was scared. I was scared at that moment. Was she planning to... What was she planning to do? I could tell that the object in her hand could hear my heartbeat, but for what reason? Nothing made sense, and I hated that. I hate when nothing makes sense and isn't told to me. I started to fight again. I know it wasn't useful or smart, but I just had to fight. I had to do something. I couldn't lay here crying while waiting my end. I kicked my legs and screamed. I know screaming wouldn't do nothing, but it would annoy them. Maybe annoy them enough to put me out of my misery. But instead of, them getting mad, they just looked sad as they turned their heads away. That confused me. Why did they turn their heads? Why did they look sad? Did I fail a test? Did I do something wrong? My inner good boy attitude was hurt at this. Yeah, I said it. Inner good boy attitude. This means I want to be a good boy for everyone. It's stupid, I act like a dog. That's what Dad said, at least. But hey, I can't help but please people. I'm a people pleaser. That is also another thing my dad said. The blonde-haired chick rubbed my head, but soon covered my mouth with her hand, since, I guess my screaming was getting very annoying for her. Then she reached into a drawer. I shut my mouth. Was she going to pull out my tongue? Was she going to pull out my teeth? But instead of something that would do that, she instead pulled out, a rag and, I think they called it rope. But it didn't look like rope. It looked like a stretchy version of the rope. Either way, she put the rope in the middle of the rag. Then she twisted the rag over the rope. Then she pulled the rope, making the two ends come out even farther. I was beyond confused. What was she going to do? Then she came towards me with the object in hand and forced my lips apart. If you're wondering how she did this, well, she put her hand below my chin and her thumb and fingers on the sides of my cheeks. Then she pushed, which made my face turn into a fish. Well, a blooping fish. Then she shoved the object into my mouth, while tying the two stretchy ropes behind my head. As I tried to scream, it was majorly muffled. This is what she was doing. Wish I found out sooner. Maybe I could have bit off her fingers or something. Either way, she kept testing me and putting her hands on my body. I could see a green glow coming out of them, but it was different. I was startled at the green glow, but my dad did say women had powers to do something, or do a lot of things like super strength, super speed, and control over the elements. But what was the green glow? Then I thought long and hard. Some people might call me stupid, but hey, I'm not that stupid, but it took a while for it to click. It was healing. But why was she healing me or checking my body? At the end, she just wrapped my head in some cloth and gave me a shot. I didn't know what the shot was for, so I was very angry. I don't like what she did. I don't like the thing poking into my arm and the liquid being ejected into my body. But what could I do? I couldn't fight against her. I couldn't annoy her with my screams and shouts. The only thing I could do was just lay there. Let them do what they were doing. I closed my eyes as a wave of tiredness came over me like a wave. It swallowed and drowned me. My eyes became blurry, and I could hear little, but I could feel something rubbing my head. Then I fell into darkness, a reality away from this one that I could feel comfortable in, one that I can just stay in. End of part 4. Hold on. Sorry, I'm very tired. Either way, this will be the ending of part 4. Please tell me down below if this one is good. If not, and you want something else different about it, please tell me. I would very much like it. It just has been a very long time since I have made an episode of the series. So I'm kind of like, I'm a lost sheep. I don't know where to go with this. But either way, I hope you all have a good day or night. Because, well, I'm out and going to make another What If. So, see ya.